harvesting for a Wahakura, we're looking for long, healthy leaves. And here is one that we can start harvesting. We leave the 3 center shoots without touching them, and then we cut everything else. For the Wahakura we're going to weave, we need 60 leaves. When we got the whole leaf here, we go to about the middle of the leaf, we fold it in half, then we push it through like this, and this gives us the exact 1-inch strip. We'll peel it out like this. We got our strip ready for weaving. So you want to wash your fenu, your strips, before you start weaving them. So here we got our 60 clean fenu, and the weaving starts. We got these fenu which are still connected at the butt end, and now what we're going to do is we fold one of them back onto itself with a sort of a hook, and that is how we're gonna connect the base. Show it again. Here's the fenu, shiny side, dull side. One of them is being folded back, and this is called the waikawa style. So the next step is actually hooking them together. Put it down. We take the next one and we take that hook and we hook it onto the top leaf. So onto the one pointing up, and you kind of create like 2 ears sticking up this way here. So the next one will hook onto the one pointing to the left. So here is the hook again, and we'll hook it on to the one pointing to the left. So we'll alternate to the top one and go underneath all of the strips pointing to the right with the hook. And then, as we have 2 laying side by side, we have to start weaving it in. So I put that on here, and it just gives me something to hold this kind of slippery leaf together. If you can create something like this, it'll be most helpful. So we've done the left, so we're getting back onto the right side, underneath all of the strips, and then start weaving in. Over one, under one, over one. And then we can put it under the back. It's held down. And what we're going to do until we have 4 pointing to the right and 4 pointing to the left. So we'll need one more. The hook underneath all of the fenu, and then over one, under one, over one, under one. There we go. Fold it in half, put it around like this, twist it once around, and then put it around the next leaf or fenu. Twist it around, as when we move it later on, that'll be holding it together for us, like that. So just twist it again, and now we're getting onto the ones at the right hand side. There we go. Right, so do not tie off the top ones because you're gonna add on here, but this space here is nice and firm now, it's not gonna fall apart. There we go, and so we'll just carry on until we have 28 on the right hand side and 28 pointing out on the left hand side. As you go further up, you will have more and more sticking out. Do not weave through all of them, just weave through 4 of them. The 4 top ones always. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stop. And every time I come underneath the 4th one, 1, 2, 3, 4, put the peg here. Just keeps it nice and tight. Another thing to watch is to keep it at the right angle. Sometimes it's very easy to go more and more that way. It's very important that you always alternate. Here we go, we've finished the back basically of the Wahakura, and now the next step is weaving up to 9. So when you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So First thing, we'll fold all of the ones which are on top back onto themselves like that. There we are, and we're up here now. And weaving is just replace, weave in, replace, fold back. So I'm counting here from the top. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are done. Got to do another 3, 6, 7. There we go. Just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is our last one. And I'll put a peg here. There we go. We only ever go to this peg, so we're lining it up like this, so we don't go out further. So the next one coming in, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and move the peg one up. Next strip. So yeah, so it's tempting to use this again, but don't. Just keep it at your same height. It's pretty hard to see because it's diagonal, but after a while you'll get practice and you'll see it better. And if you keep that peg moving up, it'll give you a little bit of an indicator. And this is basically going to be the bottom of your Wahakura. You can see there's no gap whatsoever here between the finish. So keep everything tight towards the spine. Don't move the Wahakura at this stage. Also make sure that if your big back gets sore, get up every now and then, straighten up, stretch out, go for a wee walk. It is physically quite hard actually to weave a Wahakura as you're constantly moving and you're in positions which normally you wouldn't be in. There we are at the top. The next thing will be flipping it over on its back side, and what we're going to do, we're going to weave those hook ends, those butt ends, they're very firm, underneath 2 strips. So you count 1, 2, and before you do that you cut them to lengths, so you watch where it would be coming in, and so you cut it to that length. Second one, you could go with a knife underneath and then push it underneath the knife while you lift up the finu a little bit. Having it under 2 is really quite important, and if you're a tight weaver like me, sometimes it's pretty hard to get these butt ends underneath. So all of these need to be tucked in, and this is sometimes, especially people who might not have very strong hands, it can be quite challenging. All right, so we've woven up both sides to the count of 9, and now what we're going to do are the corners. So the corners are actually not going to be where our corners look like they're going to be. They're going to be here and here. We do the corner between the 8th and the 9th strips. So this is my 8th strip, this is my 9th strip. So these 2 are going to create the corner. I'll cross the 8th over the 9th. And this, what you see here, is going to be our corner. So everything will follow this. So this is our corner. So I'm going to weave it in through a little bit. So it's being held, or else it'll just ping out again. So again, over, under, over. Weave it up all the way actually, until you run out. And then put the peg here, right? Now, what you can do is you look at your strip here that you've just done, and then look at the neighbor. So the neighbor is here. So this is the one we need to take. It comes from under, so that means it needs to go over, under, over, under, over, under, and we can peg it again. And I usually take about 3 across. It's just so it's held together a bit. So again, this is the one we've done, we can follow it. So the neighbor is right here. Under, over, and help it by pushing it up a little bit like that. over, under, over, under, and bring it all the way up here. And we go to the second side. You know, where you started your Wahakura. So not to count these that we just woven in, but the actual leaves here, that the whenua that coming out of the Wahakura. So I'll start counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And be very sure that you get the 8s and the 9s. Again, if you use the wrong 2, 7 or 8, then you will have at the top an endless Wahakura, so you will not be able to finish it off. So I crossed 8 and 9 and weave those back up towards the point here. Weave that in. Keep it as tight as you can. You can still make it tighter later on, so don't worry too much. The peg here, and bring another one across. There we are. Bring it to the top. There. So that's your second corner right here. See how they just stick out like that? So we can weave them together. So this one goes over, then goes over, under, weave it in, just to finish it off. Oops. There we are. So this side. Right, I'm going to do the other side. Same thing here. So we'll count here the strips underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Corner is going to be down between 8 and 9. So pull it towards you, fold it over, and cross these two over each other. So you can cross them in 2 ways, but only one way is correct. So you could of course cross it like this, but you can see that's not right. So you'll cross for this corner, the right one over the left one. And then you weave it up towards your point there. There you go. And then its neighbor again. If you're confused and don't know which one is coming across here, you just look, this is the one I did. So the next one is laying right beside it here. So it comes from under, that means it needs to go over now. Go, and we've done 2, so let's do one more to keep it together really well. Over, under, heading to the point here, and peg it. Corner number 3 done. Now here, this is very dangerous. We've got those ones, and if we start counting them, then we're wrong. The corner was here, and because you tied it off with this little tie here to hold it together, you can see where your original corner or point was. So we start counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Pull it towards you, hold it over, don't let go of those 2. And cross, and here again, the right one over the left one, and bring it up, weave it through, bring it up to the point. Yeah, that's the one. Come on. This one is in the way here. Here we are at the point. So you've got to just follow the one you've done. Over, under, bring this up a bit so it's not such tension on it. And the next one, the third one, is this one. At the top. Right, and these are almost finished, woven into each other here. There we go. There we are. Okay, so we've done our 4 corners, and now as you can see the sides are not woven up, so we've got to weave up the sides. So we've pushed that whole thing around. It's kind of has become the shape of the Wahakura now, with our spine here and with our 4 corners. And just start weaving up so we can reach that height here. So it doesn't matter where you start, you can start anywhere and start going up. But what I would recommend is only go up as many as you can hold. So I usually go up only 2 back, 2 up, and then I weave 1 in. And try to keep your Wahakura bent this way, because that'll create less gap. So and you'll do again exactly the same thing, you just weave up and down and up and down. And what I like to do is creating what's called an ara. So a pass where I'm always at the same height, and that means I'll peg this one back and I won't be using it next time. So I have again 2 down, 2 up. Another thing which is kind of important, when you weave, push your weaving down towards the spine, so that, you know, if you see gaps like this, just push it down towards the spine rather than lining it up away from you. So always go back to the spine. Also, while we're sitting here and weaving away, when giving a Wahakura away, it is nice to give a small, safe sleeping message with it, so people have a little bit of knowledge who have never used the Wahakura, how they might be used. So one important part is to understand that the Wahakura is not a carrying basket, it's for co-sleeping. So if parents choose to sleep with their baby in the same bed, it's a lovely protective little place where the baby can be put and is nice and close to the mother when she needs to breastfeed in the night or attend to the baby. Here we are, we're just coming to the other side. And we'll just go up as far as we can here, and then we switch to the other side and bring it up to the same height. So I'll turn it around and do exactly the same on this side. So we have woven up to the height of just, you can see it here, just above the first hook. This is second, third, so we've woven everything up to this height. And now we're going to be doing the locking off. What we need to do is weave up 2. So, there we go. Gone up 1. See, that's where we were. 1, 2. Now we've got 2 strips back, 2 pointing up. Now we take the finu, which we would normally weave in, but instead of having it lay on the top one here, we leave it underneath. And we fold this one on a 90-degree angle down towards the base of the Wahakura. And now with those 2 that were folded back here, we lock it in with that one. So this strip here is getting locked in. 2 back, 2 up. This one is woven in, but again, instead of having it on top, I fold it underneath. I fold it a 90-degree down towards the base and lock it in with those 2 strips. And you can tighten it a little bit as you go. Prepare your 2 back again and your 2 up. There you are. weave in, but again, instead of having it on the top one, have it underneath the top one, because the top one is getting folded down. Number 1 lock, number 2 lock, done. And as you can see, it is a bit loose here. You can just pull a little bit on it and it tightens it right down. You can go all around and tighten it nicely, but you can do that at the end. So the second step, when you've gone all around here, you come back, and the second step is basically just the ones that are pointing up now. They get folded over the top, just following the strip, and get woven underneath too. So number 1, number 2. Here we go. Underneath. Oh, come on through. There. So it gives you a nice smooth edge up here on top. See, this one's coming through, comes over and just folds down like this. Same here, folds down like this. And you always weave them under 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I've folded them all down, almost all of them. And now I'll do the second one, which I showed already a little bit before. Weaving under 1 and under 2. Or tucked down, more or less. Oop. There. Makes a nice firm edge. Then we'll cut the ends off. So here we go. You can cut everything off. So you can cut these off, which we just folded over, like this. Just cut them so there's a little bit left here. Sticking out, because when the flax dries it shrinks, so it'll shrink underneath it. We'll cut them off too. Basically everything that has been, there we go, that has come down and been woven in under 2 can be cut off. Those still need to be woven in, as you can see, and under 2. That was our last one on this side. Oh, this one is not done yet. Hang on. 1, 2, cut it to size. Under 1 and go under number 2. So they're nicely hidden here. And the same goes for these 3. You can see they always need to go under 2. So this one is only under 1 here. So it needs to go under that one. They all need to be tucked in nicely like this. And this one, as I can just see, is our very top one. The last one can only go under 1, or else it'll get into the weaving. So just have it go under 1 here. Then the very last thing to do is covering those butt ends here. So they look a bit rough. That's the only kind of rough area from the Wahakura. And what we can do, we can just prepare a couple of strips that are the width or slightly wider sometimes to our finu, and then we'll just weave them in like so. Kind of like an overlay. You know, we just go over them. So you're covering that butt end here, underneath here. Here, just weave it in. It's more like a cosmetic thing. It's not adding, might add a little bit of strength, but it really makes it look tidier. Pull it through, and it has nicely covered this butt end here. And then just do about 6. It's usually about 6. 1, 2, 3 this way, and 1, 2, 3 this way. Cut this one, cover this one. This one, this one, there must be another one here, and this one. Okay. And then these also can just be cut off there and down here. And that just makes it look a little bit better on the sides. So here is one that we have woven. We had long strips. So we could weave all the way up to this height. So we'll just be able to weave much taller up and can then fold it down like I just showed you. But this is the basic one and the most simple one, and once you perfected that one, you might want to go to a wānanga, to a course, and learn another technique. But this is one that works really well and is simple to make.